Mark, obviously not the result you wanted, but just your team's resilience both in the first half to come back from down 15 and make a game of it, and then the opening flurry of the second half, and really throughout the second half. Just what did you think about them?
Well, I thought Florida played terrific. They were exactly who they are. They're physical. They beat us up on the glass. And our guys are always resilient. That's who we are. So I'm not surprised about it. That's our expectation. We earned a lot of stuff that we liked. We had some things not go great for us early on, and then we kind of got beat up on the glass in the second half. We had managed in the first half. We got beat up a little bit, but I'm proud of my guys always. I mean, it's who they are. We got a lot of fatigue on the floor, but our guys are fighters, and they're not going to stop. They're not going to sit down. We just weren't quite good enough tonight.
You know, a lot of teams in the league just can't match Florida's size across the front line. And how do you or how could a team deal with that when you got 6'9", 6'10", 6'9", what they have?
Well, they have tremendous size, but I think they're skilled also. I think they're smart players, and they're physical, and they're pretty relentless, and they understand their roles, and they do a nice job. It's what they hang their hat on. I thought the difference in the game probably for them today was their guard play was better, and I thought that gave them a real boost, especially early.
How did Denzel handle the emotions coming into this game, the build-up, and just what you see out of him tonight?
Well, Florida fans know Denzel. I mean, Denzel's the ultimate competitor. I never worry about the lights with him. I never worry about the moment. I never worry about the distractions because he loves to compete. I mean, this fan base knows him. Of course, our fan base loves him so much. He just is a competitor. He's a special competitor.
Surprised he got the taunts that he did, given that he helped him win a national title?
No.
That's what you
he wasn't either. No.
How hard is it to manage down the stretch and you have several players in kind of foul trouble, especially both your bigs?
Yeah, it was hard. Malachi had a terrific game and limited minutes. We felt better when he was on the floor. I thought he gave us a physicality and a length that was a real factor for us. So it was tough to manage with him not on the floor, but he managed his fifth foul really well and was able to play, a significant amount of the second half.
Malachi, you knew obviously it was going to be a very physical game down there in the paint against this team. Just what is it about them once you got in the flow of the game that makes them so good in that regard? And you guys still got a lot of offensive rebounds, but it seemed like that second chance they were just swarming you every time.
They got a lot of size on the inside, so it was definitely a battle down there. So I knew I had to prepare myself, and I think I came in with the right mentality, but I mean, we lost the rebounding battle, so that's unacceptable.
Mark, how difficult is it to replicate Florida's length? How much do you think you guys benefit from when you see them again that you've seen?
Well, like I said, I think length is understating the issues. I think their length, but it's also their physicality. It's also their skill level and their decision making. All makes it complicated for us, for everybody they play. And so I don't think you can replicate it. I do think that we can play so much better. We can play better, and we expect we will.
You guys kind of cleaned it up towards the end there, but early on, I felt like there was a lot of turnovers pretty quickly. There've been much better starts in prior games. Why do you think this one kind of started a little looser?
I was disappointed. Credit Florida for their pressure. Usually that feeds right into our wheelhouse. We were a little sped up. I actually didn't dislike the looks that our guys earned for the most part early on. We had some shots we really liked that just kind of back rimmed out. I thought that got us a little distracted, and then I thought we got a little bit rushed. I thought there was a stretch of 3 or 4 minutes in where we got a little rushed, and then I thought in the second half, mid-half, we got a little frantic rush, and this is one of those games where you wish you had 5 timeouts just to settle us. And the guys were able to finally recover. We just couldn't get over the hump. And credit credit Florida, I felt like we got the stops we needed down the stretch. We couldn't grab a rebound, which is exactly what they do. It's what they do. And so we'll get better at that. We'll get better at carving out space. We'll get better at getting a second hit. We'll get better at showing fouls. We'll get better at that whole thing, and it's why you have a season.
Mark Collins, got of your left's been pretty instrumental in all your success late and playing really well on the road, both sides of the ball. What's changed for him, and how important is that for him?
Well, I thought he had a terrific performance tonight. I thought it was just a little bit sticky the first few minutes, but I thought he's elite. His numbers are impressive, and he's making hard shots for us. He cuts so hard. He has a ton of gravity just as a cutter, and we're just using him as a simple cutter right now. But as we move forward, we'll be able to, even trick that up a little bit. So it's not just that he's really efficient offensively in this game, but it's also he created a lot of gravity and openings for other guys. And Collin plays hard. He plays hard every single rep, every single day in practice, every single 5-on-0. And that's why he continues to get better and better and better.
Collin, same question for you. What's working for you right now?
I think I've been put in positions that I can be successful in, positions I'm comfortable with, possessions that we practice every single day in practice, and so I think that's the biggest thing is I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary that we don't do every day in practice.
Away, I know, is one of your big scorers, 4-14. It seemed like Florida made him work a lot, or how did you feel about his shot selection and how Florida ended?
You know what? We were not good at the rim tonight. We were disappointingly poor at the rim, and that's what Florida does. So it's a credit to them, and it's something that we have to get better at. I thought we got good opportunities at the rim, and we didn't finish. Part of it was being sped up. Part of it was their length. Part of it was anticipating things. Part of it was trying to lean away from contact. Part of it is not being disciplined enough to play off 2 feet and take the next option that's available to us. And that's what they do also. They get you sped up. They get you kind of looking around. And we had moments where we functioned well, in that space. But this is not a team like 12 assists is probably not going to beat Florida. And that poor rim field goal percentage, I don't have the number in front of me, but I'm sure it's poor. Our poor rim field goal percentage is the missed opportunity not to just become magically better finishers, but to take that power play and turn it into a better opportunity for our teammates. Credit to Florida for making that really difficult. It's a place where we're going to continue to grow, and if we'll get better.
Mark, following up on that, is there any concern about this fatigue for OA? That's 4 straight games, like played 35 or more, and I know you ideally maybe not have them out there that much in the freezer.
Yeah, he's logging heavy minutes, but he's built that way. Otega will compete until he drops dead, and so we got to find him some minutes to spell him because it'll improve his play while he's on the court. But our diminishing bench is pretty small, and so we'll figure that out and we'll balance it.
5 turnovers over the final 30 minutes after the first 9. Did you see just improved valuing of possessions? And what kind of went into that?
Yeah, much better. I felt like we played with way more force. Florida gave us the defense that we want. They gave us exactly what we want in the first half. Pushed out on the corners, pushed up on the wings. It's really where we carved guys up, pushed up on our 5s, and we just, instead of us being the more forceful team, they got us on our heels. Credit to them for doing it. But that's a space where we usually, live and thrive, and the game gets easy for us actually. But they were forceful enough that we just didn't execute on plays. We were a little tentative. We were a little gassed. We were a little too much thinking and not enough just instinctual, like finishing hard cuts was the mantra for us, and we end up with this result.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.